Today I am going over the Tesla System Update 2021.44.25.2, also known as V11.0, and also known as the Christmas Update that I'm downloading right now. It's going to be a big one. Tesla is calling this update software version 11.0, and it has a lot of changes. This update is not without its detractors. Similar to any large software update, for example, the iPhone or Android, some people like them and others are not happy with the user interface changes. I'll go over them in this video. Let's get started. I'm going to cover the changes in the order of the release notes. So go into the main menu, and then press Software, and then Release Notes. The headliner of this update is Light Show. The Model X has had a Light Show feature for several years, but now a more advanced form is available for all Tesla vehicles. Tesla has released open source software to give everyone the ability to create their own light show with music. I'll put the links to the software in the video description. I've also put a link to where you can get other user-created light shows and placed in a repository that you can download and place on a USB drive to play in the car. Tesla has provided one example with this update. On the bottom of the screen, press the button with the 3 dots on it. That brings up the application menu. Then press Toy Box. Touch Start the Show to begin. A window will then pop up where you can adjust the music volume. Then exit the car. When you close the doors, the show begins. Press any door handle or trunk button to stop the show. After the conclusion to this video, I'll play the full light show. You can skip to it right now if you use the timestamps in the video description. Next, we have the Customizable App Launcher. Drag and drop your favorite apps to any position along the bottom menu bar for easy access. To customize your menu bar, hold any icon, then drag to reorder. For example, I can take the energy icon and place it on the bottom bar. You are limited to 4 app icons on this bar, so choose wisely. Here I'll swap some other apps and show you how they can be arranged. After using it for a while, I ended up with camera, phone, music, and energy from left to right. The release notes also mention that you can access the HVAC controls by swiping up anywhere near the bottom of the screen, like so. Next up is the Simplified Controls. This is probably the most controversial change in this update. Many of the screen icons and buttons have been changed. Some moved out and into deeper menus. Tesla says this is for simplicity of the main screen, but I think it makes it harder to reach those items now. I'll go over the 4 specific items mentioned in the release notes. First, for windshield wipers and the status bar information, go into Controls. Here you can see the wiper controls on the 3rd row. Off, speeds 1, 2, 3, and 4, and automatic. If you press the wiper button on the left steering wheel stalk, a small window pops up on the bottom of the left of the screen. Here you can press any of those buttons if you wish to change the wiper functions. For charging controls, tap Controls and then Charging. Here you can make any adjustments to the battery charge level, open or unlock charge port, set current, scheduling, etc. For trip and odometer information, tap Controls and then Trips. This page shows the stats for the current trip, since last charge, and the trackers for, in my case, new tires and lifetime, which can be labeled for your specific use. And the odometer is on the bottom. Scrolling up will reveal the Reset Current Trip, Reset Counter 1, and Reset Counter 2. For tire pressure information, tap Controls, and then Service. Now a diagram of the car with 4 tire locations shows up. While the car is stationary, the PSI readings are blank. You need to drive the car for a bit for the numbers to appear. For messages that appear in the lower left of the screen, you can dismiss them by flicking down. When in reverse gear, the cameras appear in the right panel just like in the previous version. The left and right side views can be removed by pressing the arrow button here. Now I'll go over the UI itself. I'll start at the top left of the screen. Pressing the battery percent will switch between miles and percent. Pressing on the battery icon will bring up the charge menu. Pressing lock will lock and unlock the car. Pressing the Home Link icon will bring up the shortcut to Home Link. While I'm in this shortcut menu, next is the Alerts button. This shows the recent alerts given by the car, which is handy if you need to contact service. Next to it is the Bluetooth menu. This is where you can assign different functions to Bluetooth devices, add or delete them. Last is the Wi-Fi shortcut that allows you to select a Wi-Fi access point or to go into the Wi-Fi settings. On the far right side, we have the airbag icons. Pressing them doesn't do anything. The left side driver info area is very sparse now, pretty much just the car. You can press the front open button, lock, unlock button, trunk open button, and the charge port door open close button. Swiping to the left or right below the car does not bring up the tire pressure or odometer cards that used to be in this area. And now for the bottom menu. On the far left, we have the control button. The HVAC controls used to be in the center, and now they're split into left and right side adjustments. You press the left arrow and right arrows to adjust the temperature. Notice a shortcut menu appears above it, allowing you to change some common functions. Press the gear icon to bring up the full HVAC menu. In the middle are the App Launcher buttons, of which 4 you can place here. My preferred use is the rear camera button, the phone button, the media, music button, and the energy button. The button with the 3 dots brings up the app menu. Next to it are the recent apps that you have used but are not one of the 4 buttons. Next are the HVAC temp adjustments for the passenger. It works just like the left side. And finally, on the far right side, we have the volume controls of decrease and increase. Going back to the release notes, we have the blind spot camera. The left or right side cameras will show up on the screen when you use the turn signals. To enable, tap Controls and then Autopilot. Scroll down until you see Automatic Blind Spot Camera and toggle the switch. Here I will show you the right turn signal and camera view. And here is the left turn signal and camera view. Waypoints are a recent introduction and were fairly limited when they first came out. Now we have the ability to reorder waypoints, which is a huge help. Waypoints are also great if you have a list of errands to run and make it easier to route. Also, for long trips, adding waypoints allows more sophisticated routing and charging stops to be done. I added the first destination, and now let me add a waypoint. Press the Add Stop button, and then enter the information. With both stops showing, if I want to make any changes, I click on the 3 dots button. Now a window comes up where I can add another stop, edit the trip, or go into settings. I choose Edit Trip. I can swap the waypoint for destination if I want to. I just grab the double lines to the left of the stop and move it around, and then press Done to continue. The first waypoint route is marked in blue on the map. Subsequent waypoints are grayed out, but you can still see them. Next is the addition of TikTok to the theater selection of apps. The TikTok videos seem to load and play kind of choppy the first time. Not sure if that's due to the Wi-Fi. Then they seem to play fine after that. Here I'm going through some of the app screens, including Discover, Search, Messages, Account, and Settings. Since I'm in the theater area, I want to mention that the Tesla tutorials have been revamped with some new entries, and it looks better. The next three items in the release notes are games, so I'll go into the games area. First, we have the newly added classic game of the original Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sega Genesis. By the way, you need a controller for this game. Next, we have a new multiplayer mode for the existing game of the Battle of Polytopoia. And then we have the new game Sudoku, which is a single-player game. Sudoku is a logic-based combinatorial number placement puzzle. And I'll scroll up to show the remaining updates on the list. Subwoofer is next. You can now adjust the subwoofer by bringing up the media player and then tapping the settings icon and then tone. Subwoofer gets its own adjustment on the far left side next to the bass control. While I'm on this screen, note that the immersive sound adjustment on the bottom now has 5 levels and auto. Next up is cold weather improvements. You can now precondition the cabin from the Tesla app when your battery is at a lower state of charge. Go into the app and override the previous settings by tapping Yes on the confirmation pop-up window. Note, to protect the car's battery, climate will remain unavailable under extreme low charge scenarios. This feature requires Tesla mobile app version 4.4 or later. Front seat heaters can now automatically regulate seat temperature based on the cabin environment and the climate control set temperature. To access seat heating controls, tap the temperature settings to bring up the HVAC panel. Note that the HVAC system must be in auto to use automatic seat heating. My current setting is in manual mode, so let me change it to automatic. You can see that the seat heater auto setting is now active. It will adjust the seat heater settings based on the temperature. So let's see what it does. Right now it just changed down to 2. If I lower the temperature, let's see what it does. And that makes sense. With a lower required temperature, the seat heater is lower too. While I'm here, let me point out some changes. The front and rear window defrost have now moved to the left side. AC is now to the right of it, along with the fan speed control and then recirculate. The special settings are now lined up along the right side in a column. We have Keep HVAC On, Dog Mode, and then Camp Mode. The rear climate setup has also changed. There is a rear fan on and off that is near the top. You can then set the heat level for individual rear seats. And there's now an all-off button. Going back to the release notes, we have the Manage Dashcam Clips. You can easily delete all Dashcam video clips directly from the touchscreen by tapping the Controls, Safety, scroll down till you see Dashcam, and then click on Delete Dashcam Clips. Next up, we have Dark Mode. You can now change to a dark theme display by tapping Controls, Display, and go down to Appearance and select Dark. I honestly don't see what the changes are to this feature since the car already had a light and dark mode setting with automatic. Next up, we have Hide Map Details. Simplify your navigation app and hide map details. First, go to the map screen and then tap the pin button on the far right side of the map. And now we are done with the updates. I want to show you the control menu pages quickly. Next up is pedals and steering, then charging, autopilot, locks, lights, display, trips, navigation, safety, service, software, and upgrades. One thing I didn't cover is the driver profiles. They used to be on the top menu bar towards the right side. Now they are located at the top of the controls menu. Press the profile button to bring up this window. Like before, you can select a profile to use or go into driver profile settings to make changes like adding or deleting profiles. Overall, I think it's a good update. There are some things I'm not crazy about, and I miss using the cards on the left side of the screen. Flipping to get the odometer and also the tire pressures was convenient. Now they are inside a menu. I do like the ability to add and remove icons to the lower dock. However, 4 seems to be too limiting. I think 6 or 8 would be better. And I really don't care much for the recently used dock to the right of it. One thing I really want to see is the ability to shrink or enlarge the left driver's side or the right navigation panels, especially if I'm not using them for autopilot or full self-driving. The wasted space on the left side of the screen is kind of annoying. Maybe something that would allow the panel size to depend on the mode, say if you're in autopilot or full self-driving, and the left side takes up half the screen, and reverts back to its normal size when you're not in that mode. Another improvement I want to see is in the navigation, is for toggling or prioritizing or avoiding highways. Sometimes using city streets is a better solution. One more wish is to choose among multiple routing options on the screen, for example, quickest or shortest. I know Tesla is trying to stress the visual simplicity with this update, but I think it removes too many things that I like. Of course, over time, I will get used to the changes. I may do some future videos on this update if there are important things that I may have missed. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. By the way, it will be a 2022 channel update. Happy holidays. And like I promised, here's the light show.